everyone, and welcome back to the 10-minute drawing challenge, where we come together, pick a character, and draw as much as we possibly can for 10 minutes. Now, the best part about this challenge is the fact that you are in control of what the goal is. Whether you want to use pencils, inks, color, do headshots, torso, full body, whatever the case may be, you are in charge and you get to decide just how far you want to go. The idea is that you set that goal, you try and crush it, and when you do, you try and make it a little bit harder. But we're going to get together, we're going to do this together, so I hope that you have your supplies ready, you have your pad of paper, you have your supplies, and your reference, so that we can actually draw together and see how well we both do. Now, today we are going to start off with Spider-Man, the return of the 10-minute challenge, and we are going to draw Spider-Man because I like all the cast of characters in Spider-Man, which we will then continue to do for a while. Okay, so Spider-Man is the person we're going to do. I hope that you are ready. I'm going to go ahead and grab my pencil. We're going to put 10 minutes on the clock, and make sure you have your reference. Mine is in front of me. Well, actually, it's on the side of me. You need to bring it back to the front. Try and have it in a convenient spot just in case you need it. And we're going to put 10 minutes on the clock, and we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so man, it has been a little bit. I hope that you guys are doing well, and we can get back to this and make it as awesome as we possibly can, right? Like that's the ultimate goal, right? So I'm still trying to do, as conventions are really starting to bump back up, because that's the big thing, right? Like for me, the whole idea was to try and get a convention style drawing within 10 minutes, so that fans have the ability to really get something of quality, and then it doesn't take me forever, and thus I don't have to charge an insane amount of money. So I hope that you guys have some similar idea of what it is you're trying to do, and that way there's a concrete goal, which I think is the most important, is that you need to have some type of concrete goal so that you have something to work towards. Because if you don't have that goal, let's see, this would be 1, 2, 3, the stomach, okay, here, something like this. Alright, so that's there, come down here, we can do that. So have a concrete goal so that we have the ability to be awesome together. Just going over. See, as you can see, I'm constantly checking my reference, because the one thing that you don't want to do is think that you know the reference, right? You know the character, like, oh, I know this character. And then when it comes down to it, you're like, oh crap, I really don't know this character. So it's always better to have reference, especially when you're doing like challenges like this, because that way you don't have to worry about, oh my goodness, did I get this reference right? And stuff like that. So, and I have found myself, and you guys have seen, right? I've messed up a lot, because it's like, oh, I know this character, and then I come down and be like, oh, I don't. Apparently, I do not know this character. And so I'm trying really hard to make sure that I have my reference and that I check it every so often, because you got to make sure that it's right. That is the biggest thing. If you don't check, you're gonna mess it up. That's just all there is to that. And you want to try and give yourself enough visual information when you're doing this, so that if you are going to go to inks, like I'm going to inks, I'm about to switch now. So if you are going to inks, you want to give yourself enough information to where you don't have to second guess what you're doing, right? You're like, oh, I know what's supposed to go there. And it really does help if you kind of know your anatomy, right? because you're going to start doing shortcuts when it comes to these kind of drawings. And if you do not know your anatomy, then the shortcuts will probably, more than likely, be mistakes. And that's not what you want. You don't want to make, you want to try and avoid the mistake making, right? And so if you can, right, definitely study the anatomy. Now I know that sometimes that's very, that's time consuming, it's hard, and that is very, very true, right? Very true, but that's what's going to help when you start doing these 10-minute drawings, is the fact that you can make shortcuts, right? And you're like, oh, well, I know that this muscle looks like this, or this muscle looks a certain way, and so, and then you just make shortcuts and shorthand and stuff like that, just so that you can speed up the process. All right, so we got about 5 minutes left. So, if you are deciding to ink, you probably should have started inking like a couple minutes ago, unless you're really fast inking, and so, then you should be fine. Now, I know for a fact that I am not, and therefore I need to go as fast as possible. Now, the biggest issue right now that I have is, it's going to be that web. I know that the webbing on Spider-Man is going to be an issue, so I'm really hoping that I can actually get to where I need to be faster, so I don't have to worry about it. So, okay. So, and 4 minutes. 4 minutes. You guys got this. We got this together. All right. So no freaking out if you are. There's no need to freak out, right? Because in the end, it's all about practice, right? So if it works, great. If it doesn't, learn from it, right? So if you're like, oh well, I took too much time with this, or I took too much time with that, it's okay, right? As long as you try and remember and learn from it, then you'll be fine, right? One thing that I've realized is that, for the most part, like, I know as I am filling in this black, it kind of is going to go against what I want to say, but I realized that filling in some of the black is something that should be done later, right? And so I'll come in afterwards and fill in the major areas of black, like, because that's the biggest issue, right? Alright, so I'm still gonna try and get some color in here. Right, and yes, you are gonna make mistakes. Like, there's no way around that, especially when you're doing like 10-minute drawings. So don't freak out about that, because in the end, if you really wanted to come back and fix it, you probably could. Like, like I colored outside the lines, like, bam, I already see it. No worries. I'm like, all right, well, if I can come back and fix it, I will. If I can't, it's just gonna have to stay there. Okay. One thing that I've definitely learned whilst doing these is that if you do not turn your canvas, i.e. your sketchbook or whatever it is that you're using, it's going to be really, really hard. And you got to watch out. Like, I just dipped my hand in the wet. So, you want to make sure that when you are doing stuff like this, you might need a surface, right? You might need something for your wrist, the palm of your hand, because you don't want to. One thing you don't want to do is smear it, right? So if you can avoid the smearing, then you should be fine, right? Just come across and make that all red. Okay. Now we're gonna do this blue. Right, like I see a spot right there that would ultimately need to be fixed, but as we don't exactly have a lot of time, and I know that I have been taking too much time. I was like, oh, we'll just make this nice and neat. But let's see, what do we got? A minute left. Let's try and see if we can get this web in here. The hardest part, I swear, is the web, in my opinion. Oh my goodness. Look at that, first one back and still didn't finish. Alright, so as you can see, I mean, it's pretty close, you know, like I think a couple more, probably like 2 more minutes and I would be done with this. So as you can tell, I'm a little rusty as well, so we just need to keep at it, right? In the end, just keep at it. It's all about practice, and I hope that you joined me and you did do this to see just how far you could get. Now, as we move forward, we're going to keep going with characters. If you have any type of suggestion for characters, please let me know. Drop it in the comments and we will add it to the list. And if we get no suggestions, we're just going to keep going with Spider-Man for a while. If you did participate in this challenge, please either head over to my Discord link and drop your image into the daily drawing section, or if you want and you made a recording, please drop me a link so I can see what you guys are doing. Okay? Thank you guys so very much for coming back to the 10-minute challenge. I hope that you did well in this challenge, and I look forward to seeing you at the next episode.